back, and we now want to delve into the papers, and today being a Friday we focus on the Star. Independent, fresh and different, and to help us look at these headlines on the Star, we're privileged to have Gordon Ocean, a journalist with the Star newspaper. Karibu sana Gordon.
Thank you very much.
It's been a while. You guys mulipotea kidogo, but it's good to have you back. Yeah. So the front page of the Star today has a very interesting photo, because all the other papers have gone with the photos of the bishops and what they said. The main headline is about what the bishop said, but a very interesting photo here. And this is a case that is in court, paternity war, involving there was a third president of this republic, Mwai Kibaki. Now there's a gentleman called Jacob Ochola who claims to be the former president's biological son, leaving court yesterday. Now the Stars decided to put the photos side by side. And what is the intention? What is the intention of this? Is it to show the similarities? Because the two gentlemen are actually having the same posture.
Yes, posture.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why, well, it's the style of the Star to give readers a multiplicity of choice of stories to look at, so that we give prominence to stories, not just one, but different stories, so that when you buy the paper, you get as much value for your money. Also, just to add that the Star also goes big on human interest content. Okay. So such story is a strong human interest story, and that besides the big story that we sell to you, but we're also telling you that this more. Your money will give you a lot more than what we are showing you in the splash. Okay.
The question is, because this is a matter that's still in court, and you can't delve into that, but are you trying to suggest to Kenyans, okay, you be the judge? Angalia hizi picha utuambie ukweli.
Here the photos.
Yeah, they claim that photos speak more than spoken words, more than 1,000 words. So when you look at it, you make your own subjective judgment. But why again we give the sort of prominence that is given is because there was a development in court. If you read the story, you'll see that the judge directed that it's to be heard next year. So that development, I think our readers deserve to know that there's development in this front. And it's a very high-profile story.
Yes, indeed it is. It's only that it doesn't feature on any other of the dailies today.
So that's why you need to read the Star.
Yes, you need to read the Star.
Remember.
Smart people read the Star. Yes.
And speak of which, Fred, as well, the fact that you say the Star really focuses on human interest stories. The language used for the story on bishops seems a bit softened when you take a look at even how others have gone with. Why?
Well, I don't know why you call it soft, because if you look at, for example, the nations, and they basically talk about the same things, but we have chosen to focus on the human element of it, particularly the human rights aspect of it, talk about the alleged abductions, alleged killings, alleged torture. That's what we choose to nose it off with. Because at the end of the day, what's important to our story is the people. People like to read about people. And that's why we choose to give the human face of the story, even as we look at the political bickering. Because also to add, these allegations are not new. The claims that the president lies, the government don't say the truth, high cost of living, taxation, they're not necessarily new. But what for us stands out, and just to add that I cover human rights for the Star, and there has been so many reports. Human Rights Watch gave a report recently. Our vibrant civil society have been giving constant reports about human abuses. Kenyans, citizen journalism have also been showing unmarked cars plucking from the streets. So it's a worthwhile thing to shed light on it.
Okay, and today it appears that many people are struggling with how many words to use on the headline. Because here's the full sentence. Bishops accuse state of human rights abuses. Another very long one, bishops take on Ruto over killings, graft.
This
is a very long, it's lies and more taxes, bishops blast Ruto's. We already have a photo of the bishops. We already know who spoke. Okay,
Catholic bishops, I mean, the Daily Nation also.
I think this is probably my best headline. It's quite short. Ni system ya maovu, simple. Then Catholics, Ruto must stop lying. Why are people struggling with the sentences? Is it the headlines? Because I've seen a headline that has more than 6 words, I think, on the Daily Nation, and you wonder, a newspaper or journalist trying to play safe with some of these stories. Because you look like you're trying to explain yourself and saying, oh, sio sisi tumesema ni bishops wamesema, that's why you have to quote bishops, say. A simple line is similar to "it's all lies" would suffice.
Well, first, you guys are colleagues, and you know that a journalist must not be in the story. The newspaper is not the story is the source. So you must first attribute it. But also, most importantly, in my view, journalism or communication is an art. So you also want to see how do you play around with the words, how do you make it more catchy and more to be remembered. Yeah.
Because if we look at the papers from Uganda,
matters, yeah.
The Daily Monitor has a very different style from the New Vision. New Vision is very wordy, yes? But the Daily Monitor usually comes with very few words. Yes, even one word headlines. So the question is, why are we getting so wordy? Why do we want to tell the whole story in one headline?
In headline, I think it's not like standards, case by case, because there are times when we have had just one line actually just one word headline or two words. So I think it's not a standard, but also depend on the house styles, of these papers. Like the Star, we have our own style, and other papers have their own styles, and also how to communicate to your audience, what works. Yeah.
And now you say the Star, and it looks like we're putting you in the corner today, but there's the other big story that has to do with the health sector in Kenya. And I realize on the front page of the Star, I'm not finding any of that, even a small highlight. Yet there have been so many developments.
It actually focuses on two humanitarian stories there. The one on Nairobi listed as epicentered sexual violence, and special squad sent to Isili to tackle femicide.
Are we getting exhausted with this story, even as journalists, the story about the transition from NHIF to SHIF?
No, I don't think so. I think it's highlighted as part of this big story. If you read the paper, we have highlighted the teething challenges that come with it, and we're still trying to explore every angle to this story. So I think it's not to recede from the spotlight anytime soon, because health is such a critical issue. Kenyans approach us all the time, highlight my story. We are raising these millions to go to do this. And particularly right now with SHIF, it's gotten even a little more hard. So it's not to recede from the spotlight anytime soon. So I think if you don't see it today, probably you try tomorrow.
Because, and it's not just the Star, I can see the stories are getting smaller and smaller space on the front page, and hence the question. Because I think it's the biggest discussion right now, not even just government performance, the health transition from NHIF to SHIF.
So and the developments that have come with so far.
Yes, I'm struggling to
the leadership being changed and all that.
And I'm looking for it in the Star, and unfortunately, Gordon. Okay, it's there somewhere.
But also, we are also to add that we also big on digital news. So you may also want to check the website of the Star. You must definitely find some interview, some long read about the story.
One thing that the Star is best known for is politics.
Yes.
And we do have the Siasa Pull-ups today.
On Friday.
And I can see there's a story on Abagusi mulling a single party for 2027. How big of a story is this in terms of a national outlook?
Our politics is largely regional. I don't want to call it ethnic. So that as a way of strategy, the other day you saw one of our competitors said that Mount Kenya is mulling their own political party in the light of fallout of the UDA. So the importance, you may look at it as a small thing, but it is chipping out votes from some corner. Maybe it's the opposition, or maybe it's this other side. And then when people are huddled together in a political party, it's easy to toy them around or engage them in negotiation, or even to exact more from the negotiation table. So it's a big deal. If you read the story, you'll see the dynamics, especially from next year, we'll talk about the next election.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ruto, Raila headache as Kisii leaders push for 2027 party. The other big story here has to do with the new deputy president. And my question is, because they talk about Kindiki, a sharp legal mind who became the deputy president. But this is a piece written by the government spokesman himself. And it's not even generated from journalists.
Opinion.
And I'm wondering how, because we'd seen the former deputy president could actually feature a lot in the newspapers. How interesting of a newsmaker is this deputy president? 2 weeks later, he should still be very fresh in the minds of Kenyans. People should still be talking about him and what he does. But looking at the dailies,
the former deputy president,
he's still a bit more popular in terms of journalism. Is there a reason to that?
Largely, I probably think that the good professor is learning from where we copied the constitution in the US. As a vice president, he has only to be seen and not even to be heard. That's why we didn't even know who was the vice president for Trump in the first term. Of course, it was Mike Pence, but if you don't dig a little deeper, you'll not know. Who's the vice president for Uganda? We don't know. Who is the vice president for Tanzania? So as a number two, you're a spare tire. You're only to be seen and only not to be heard. But probably the fact that we are still talking about Gachagua is maybe the reason for his downfall. He was talking too much, and maybe the powers that be got threatened. Who knows? But he was only 2 weeks into the job, so let's give him time. Maybe we'll make a fool of himself and we'll start talking about him getting kicked out, or he will remain decent and tame his tongue.
Are journalists really interested in a new deputy president?
Yes.
Do we have journalists who are just following the new deputy president and trying to see what he's up to?
Of course, it's being followed. We are following him. But again, you know, people in power, the way they manage the media, they only look for you when they're out of power or when they need some favors. But as duty bearers, as journalists, we follow duty bearers when and if possible, and if we're able to get hold of them.
Okay, because I can see the cartoon on the Star today, we do have it somewhere here, has a caricature of there's someone else. I think it's somewhere here.
It is, yes.
Of the former deputy president in the gym preparing for 2027 fitness gym. So his prospects, political prospects, are more interesting than the new deputy president who's not even 2 weeks old in the job. I'm thinking probably even the honeymoon phase is enough of a newspaper story, don't you think?
You know, power is not necessarily having the office. You can be more powerful even outside the office. And he's proving if he has the time and the momentum and the focus and the attention, that is, if he is skilled enough, he can be so powerful than even the person in office. Then
there's also a lot of criticism on many papers and journalists talking too much about 2027 politics. Have we gotten there now, officially? You know, we've still not even crossed the halfway mark of this term, which will happen in March next year.
That's also even for Kenyans, the kind of content they consume. Is it that they really consume a lot of politics, and as journalists, that is definitely what you're going to be serving them? Because when you look at regional papers, for Uganda and Tanzania, they rarely talk about their politics. They'd come up right now for Tanzania, the fact that preparing for the civic polls, you just mention them. But for Kenya, it's going to be most negative and politics there.
2027 is a big discussion.
Yes.
Only less than 2.5 years after the term began.
Kenyans are a little more conscientious politically. They are politically alive and awake. And that's why in the region, we are known that that time I would travel to West Africa, and the only thing they talk about is Gen Z protest. Oh, you guys, you hold government accountable. You make American ambassador resign just by tweeting. So Kenyans are a lot more alive, and they consume more political news. But the difference is this, the analysis done at the Star, is that while Kenyans consume a lot of political news, they don't stay on it. They click, have the headline, first line, move on. But for human interest, however long it is, they'll follow it. It's a crime story. It's this human interest content. They take a little more time to consume. So yes, we are political people.
All right, but let's take a look at the other cartoons today. Yes, politics on, I think this is a standard.
Harry's back.
Yeah, Harry is there. I think yesterday they didn't even have a cartoon. So Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka facing the mountain with a sign there saying, attention, 7 million votes up for grabs, climb mountain to register. Signed Mount Kenya region. There are some red flags up there. I don't know why they chose the color. So still political cartoon.
Yeah, of course.
But at least one human interest, People Daily chose to go with the issues to do with health.
Yes, they have a sick patient there seeking help, and a sinking hole there. The SHIF is lifting the hand, also yelling
asking for help. And this is a person who's supposed to save. So SHIF still not offering any relief to the patients. Finally, on the Daily Nation,
they're going with a headline that was there yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before?
The advisors.
Yes, and the number of advisors in State House.
So why are the advisors being depicted as vultures and pigs?
Pigs, yes. We're here looking for...
You're looking for experts, and they're looking at State House. So yes, So this is another big story. I don't know
Yeah,
if you got to report on it, the number of advisors for the president.
It is. It's a big story, particularly we see the way David Ndii engage with the public in a manner that is, people are having mixed feelings about. But we'll see, because Kenyans increasingly feel that the advice may not really be helping much, given what the pain you're feeling in our pockets and collapsing public key services.
Okay, so people are feeling that the advisors are simply cashing in. All right, so grab yourself a copy of The Star this weekend. It has the Siasa pullout. They're talking about Kindiki, a sharp legal mind who became the deputy president. But the main story on the Siasa pullout is about Abagusi Marling single party for 2027. Thank you so much, Gordon Osien, journalist at The Star, helping us with this review of The Star. Very interesting photo on the front page of The Star today of the third president of the Republic, Mwai Kibaki, and a gentleman by the name Jacob Ocholla, who claims to be former President Kibaki's biological son. Ukiangalia front page ni kama unaulizwa swali. Si ati wameuliza. They seem to be suggesting, wewe, you be the judge.
Be the judge, yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gordon, for that. All right. We promised to take a look at the traffic situation.